Hello YouTube, this is Nina. Welcome to Mythological Corner. Today, this video is about Finnish water gods and goddesses and water spirits. There are plenty of water gods and goddesses in Finland. If you know the expression, Finland is the country of 1,000 lakes. It's very accurate. There are lots of lakes here. And in the old times, people believed that there is gods or goddess or spirit in every lake and every water area, and ponds and rivers, and then there was ultimate water god that guarded all of these areas. In some part of Finland, this was the belief system. And Finnish water god is Ahti. And he's, if you know Greek mythology, he's usually described to look a bit similar like Poseidon, even with trident sometimes. But he has the long beard that is like filled with the water grass, something like that, and a foam and scarred foam, and his skin is like greenish or blue, and you know, typical water god. And fishermen, when they went to fishing, they prayed for Ahti to give them a good fishing luck. And when Finland started to be Christianized, like 600 years ago, Ahti, he was turned into Saint Andreas, who is the saint of fishing, actually. So the church tried to make their people beliefs, the folklore and mythological beliefs, to combine with the Christian beliefs. But partially it worked and partially it didn't, because for a long time people have held to their belief system. Of course, it's just great. And sorry. Sea goddess is Vellamo, and her name comes from the Finnish word vello, that means the movement of water or waves. I have a painting made from Vellamo. It's a very small painting, A5 size. It's from last year. I will put a bigger picture to some part of this video so you can take a better look. And Vellamo was described to be a very tall and beautiful lady, and it was believed that she and Tapio, they had this underwater court, or like a castle somewhere in the water, and servants there, and it was like a castle in this world, but underwater. Or maybe not like a castle, like a big house, and that kind of Finnish manner from the old times. And it was believed they had like a cattle there, like underwater horses and underwater cows. And sometimes it was believed that when Vellamo and her cows, her cattle, they came up to the earth, to the surface with her kettles. And then the kettles, sometimes in like when it was a misty morning and there's no one, people awake, and then the cows were eating water hay and stuff like that. It was believed that if some of Vellamo's cows got lost and went to among with these cows of this world, the upper world, and these new owner of the Vellamo's cows became a very rich man or a woman, because they were very milky cows. And of course, in the old times, the more cattle you had, the more richer person you were. It's not so much about the money necessarily. It was about how many animals you have and how many houses you have. You know, they were like a measure of your wealth. And Vellamo's cows, they were very milky cows. They milked through the whole year, so it was very good that if you happened to be a lucky owner of an undersea cow. So as I was telling before, just believed that every lake, every pond, every river and water area had their own spirits. And Vellamo and Ahti, their children, they were the mermaids and water spirits and sea maidens and something like this. Little water spirits. And there aren't that many mermaid myths in Finland, but there are some in western Finland near the coast, because with the big harbor cities, there was the legends that and the effects from the other parts of the Europe, of course, and with the mermaid stories. But in the inner land, there weren't so many stories about mermaids, or at least water spirits that have tails. But you can find this kind of mermaids with tails from only the coast, Finland's coast. Sorry. And where was I? Yeah. So water, and of course water is the giver of life, so that is why ancient Finns and of course many other people in the old times, they worshipped water gods and goddesses and water spirits, because water was essential for people to live. And the oldest stories, when you think about the fairy tales and folklore and mythology, there are many layers, because of course people have been here for such a long time that there are different layers in mythology. Like, if you think about Greek mythology, there are so many layers. The Greek mythology, and every time there comes new things added. But the oldest layer in Finnish mythology, and the oldest idea of the water spirits, comes from the time when we were living in the collective culture, so to speak, before the agriculture, or just in the middle of them. That was when the sea spirits and the water spirits, they were seen as animals or as in human form, both. And the oldest spirits of those times were for example, in a lake, the oldest spirits in the lake was the first fish that ever was in the lake. And you can try to imagine how it will take a long time when you think about what is the first fish on the lake, and how on earth the first fish get in the lake. I have no idea. But the oldest fish, that is the biggest fish in the lake, that becomes, or always, according to the tradition, became the first guardian spirit of the lake. So it was the oldest and the biggest fish on the lake, the guardian spirit of the lake. And when the fishermen went to the fishing trip, they sacrificed something to the lake. It could be like goat or food or whatever they had. And if they got a really big pile of fish, they usually sacrificed part of the fishes back to the lake, or the head of a fish back to the lake, or they would eat and boil the head of the fish and eat it before eating the rest of the fishing pile. Sorry, I have no idea what the fishing pile is in English. Anyway, and when I did the research for this particular video, I started to think about the Moomin episode about the goldfish, and if I find it, I will link it to this video, because I just recently watched this Moomin episode where they go to see the goldfish, I love Mummies. Mummies are absolutely fantastic. And it's quite paganistic show actually, when you think about it. Anyway, sorry. And they go to the pond to look for the goldfish, the legendary goldfish. And when they see it, they get this kind of spiritual fulfillment, so to speak. But when I watched the animation, the episode, I started to think that goldfish, it's very old, so, and it's huge. It's bigger than any other fish in the pond. So it must be the beginner water spirit of that pond, and maybe even the water spirit of the whole area or Moomin Valley. I don't know, but yeah, that's something that came to my mind. And also, if you love Moomins, you know the siren episode. It's very accurate. Also, you know that's some kind of pond maiden. But when the pond gets empty after the rain, the maiden is gone to some other part of the Moomin Valley or some other valley. Yeah, I'm getting off the subject now, but forgive me. There's many things in popular culture that we can identify with these mythologies. And if you don't think about Ahti and Vellamo as a premier god and goddess, you can also think that there is different aspects in these water myths. So some part of Finland they were the main focus of the worshipping, and in some parts there were only the water spirits of different areas that were worshipped. But it depends on the area, of course. And in Western Finland, Vedennemä, that is the water woman, water spirit, or like female water spirit, was worshipped. Then in Eastern Finland, it was a male water spirit that was more worshipped. And Vedennemä, you would find her in different names: Vedenneito, Merenneito, which means a mermaid, sea maiden, whatever you want to call her. And she was the spirit that lived in different ponds and lakes and water areas. And usually she was described as a very erotic character. And if you think about the water mermaid myths from Europe and all the other parts of the world, it's the similar concept. And usually she was like that kind of person sitting on her rocks, brushing her hair, very typical, this kind of mermaid image. But not necessarily with the tail. Usually just like a dress made from foam or like a fisher net or whatever. And then Vetehinen is from Eastern Finland, and not described as a very handsome bloke. Unfortunately, he was described to be like an old man with like a watergrass or water hay beard and clothes made from foam, sea foam and stuff like that. And the idea of Vetehinen, it has lots of similarities to Russian character, what you know, that is like a Russian sea spirit. And Vetehinen, people were usually warned about him because he liked to drown people, and if there were people fishing, he might turn the boat upside down. And what you know in Russia, it's very similar kind of character that is very evil. But Vetehinen, he might change his mind, so he might be in a good mood also occasionally. So it's a bit different than what you know, but also very similar. And sometimes Vetehinen was described to be like black-skinned or blue skin or green skinned, like not like a human, but similar to human in its appearance. Yeah. It was also a very common belief that drowned people, they might turn into water spirits, And I think in some parts of the world you can still find this kind of idea. And of course in Russia there is rusalkas that are these dangerous mermaids that are actually spirits of women that have committed suicide by drowning, and children that have been drowned by someone. So there is similar mythologies in Finland as well, that passed away people, they might turn into water spirits if they have been drowned. And in the old times when people didn't know how drowning affects to a person, when they put a body to the shore and see all the marks in the body, like from the choking and stuff, they used to think that all the dark marks in the body, they were like fingerprints from the sea spirits that have been trying to kill them in the underwater and stuff like that. It's quite scary, but that's what people believed in the old times when the science wasn't so high as it is nowadays, and we know better. And in Finland and in Scandinavia, Näkki is very common water spirit or evil water spirit. And I don't know if you know this character from other parts in the world, but it's very common in Finland, and in Sweden it's Nicken, in Norwegian Nokken, and I think it's Nikkere in English, I don't know, something like that. And in Scandinavia it was usually described to be this handsome young man that seduced women and young ladies and drowned them. And usually he was playing a violin and tried to seducing people with their music. And maybe when the music got so beautiful that they just wanted to drown just to get closer to him in some weird way. And then with Näkki, there is horses associated with them, because at least in Sweden it was believed that, maybe it's still believed that Nicken appeared as a white horse. And in Scandinavian mythology it's quite common that this character appeared as a white horse or some other color horse. And it was very good, because when he seduced children, the children of course, oh, it's a beautiful horse, and they went to try to touch the horse hair and stuff, and then suddenly he drowns the children. But of course it's a bit similar like the Kelpies in Scotland. And you can, when you hear about these mythological things, you might hear that many different elements from the different countries, they are repeated in different forms in the other countries, because that's how the myths traveled, so to speak. And many of the water myths in Finland and goddess and goddesses, they are very similar in all the other parts of the world. And of course in Eastern Finland there is more effects from Russian mythology, and in Western Finland more effects from the Scandinavian mythology, and it's natural. Then there is elements from the Finnish mythology in both countries as well, I think, of some level. Then in Swedish the water horse is called Backhästen. That is this white horse that Näkki might turn into. And in some part of the film there is this similar belief that Näkki is this handsome young man that seduces people with its music, or just is beautiful. Bit like a vampiresque character in my opinion, also because he like a seducer, male. But there is also this idea that Näkki is this more similar to this Vetehinen character, this evil water spirit that is completely covered with water, hay and all kinds of seashells and stuff, and drowns people. And then I remember from my childhood, and I think many people, Finnish people, remember from their childhood, that it was used as a warning that don't go to swim too deep, otherwise Näkki will drown you. So it was like a warning. Also these stories about Näkki and dangerous water spirits, because I remember from my childhood that my grandma always used to say that don't go swim too deep because otherwise Näkki will get you and you will die. And it worked. I think it still works pretty well because nobody wants to be drowned by a Näkki. And these characters, they have a very long time effect in people's subconscious, like I said, with this Näkki creature, but also in our language, because some subjects about in water areas, very like lilies, water lilies, and seashells. In Swedish, water lily is called näckros. It's a Nicker's rose, and you know, when people believed to Näkki very commonly, it was believed that when they looked to the pond, they might see the peeking eyes through the water lilies. So that's where comes the word Nickeros, näckros in Sverige. And Näkinkenkä, it's seashell in Finnish. One word for seashell. Simpuka is the more common name, but seashell, Näkinkenkä, it's much prettier, and it means shoe of Näkki. And here is one. I think I don't know, I might have picked things from Norway or somewhere. It's pretty. Anyway, that was a little glimpse to Finnish water mythology, and I hope you enjoyed this, and sorry about my bad articulation today. And we'll see if I have time to make another video soon. And thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this, please subscribe to my channel. And to contact me, there are my links and social media stuff in the description box, and I'll see you next time. Blessed be.